Alright, welcome back. So, we just recently played through the Project EPOCH Beta 2. The open beta was from levels 30 to 45, however, you could have played from level 1 if you chose to. Now, I didn't finish the full beta, I didn't get to see a couple of hubs in the level 40 to 45 area, and I most notably did not get to play through the Blazing Hills. We'll talk about that in a minute, because the Blazing Hills was broken for the Horde side, at least, that I know of. I think the Alliance side was okay, but I couldn't get into it, and I'll talk about that pretty soon. But first, I wanted to just tell you everything that I saw in the beta. From new quests that were still hard to find, and they were more rare, but the few that I did find were still fun and in the spirit of classic. Like one that I did, which you had to help an elite Tauren chieftain in death. So, in order to do his quest, you first have to kind of re-kill him, because he's a wandering spirit, and he just kind of wanders there, but you do get a quest to kill him. When you loot his body, you get an item that takes you to a totem somewhere in the Thousand Needles, and in order to contact the dead Tauren, you have to be dead yourself. I thought that was a very neat mechanic that we've seen it once before with the dwarf in Blackrock Depths, but you don't really see it anywhere else. So utilizing that is actually pretty neat. Well, neat for normal players. Sorry, Iron Man players or hardcore players, you won't be able to do that quest. And there's the necklace that does absolute shit for me, so it's a vendor item. The sacred the sacred necklace given to me by the ghost of a dead Tauren chieftain. It's something that I should keep sacred with me as a Tauren player. It's just vendor trash. But anyway, that Tauren that you have to kill is also an elite, which there are tons of new elites in the zones. Some of them are soloable, but some of them are not. And some of them are even mini-bosses for anywhere from 10 to 20 players to fight. I did get to fight one of them, a level 30, tree ancient in Ashenvale. We had about 20 people or so that were all levels between 30 and 40, roughly, and we took it down fairly quick, but we had 20 or more players, so it was fairly easy for us, but I'm sure it would be much harder for 10 players of the, same level or so. There are a bunch of new custom achievements, so it looks like a lot of the achievements such as Wrath of the Lich King achievements, TBC achievements, those have been removed. There are some specifically just for vanilla, and there are a lot of achievements for the new stuff for Project EPOCH, so there's, custom achievements. There are new racial items and abilities, such as the Tauren Totem, which you'll see in the gameplay, behind me here. Taurens get to wear an awesome totem, and it's pretty much permanent, even through death. There's also other ones too, like if you're an orc and you die, you get to ride on a ghost wolf and so on. There's a bunch of new things like that, and I did make a video all about this. If you want to check the playlist, that'll be linked at the end of the video. Everything about Project EPOCH that I've talked about is in that playlist. But anyway, continuing on, I did feel that out in the world, blues dropped way too frequently. Blue items, every other kill. Sometimes I had 2 blue items drop on the same damn enemy. They just kept dropping. I was just, why can't I hold all these blues, you know what I mean? Another thing that I kinda didn't like were the hunter pets. They were way too, underpowered. I think it has to do with the reworked talent system. Their talents are given to them way too spread apart. He was level 36 roughly and only had 3 or 4 talent points to spend, therefore he had not enough armor and not enough stamina increase. Him fighting another enemy that is the exact same level, my pet died every single time, or got close to death every single time. He just kept dying because he didn't have enough stamina and armor, and he's a pig. Pigs are supposed to be tanky. But something that I do like is that they introduced a brand new dungeon. Now, I didn't stream it, but I did get to see it. The new dungeon is called the Glittermurk Mines, which is a Venture Co style cave. It's very similar to the layout of the cave that you find in Mulgore with the Venture Co in it. It's also, if people did not play the Mulgore zone, it's the exact same style of cave as you would see in the Netherwing area. Remember the Netherwing drakes from TBC, and they had that big mine where you can go and try to find all the Netherwing eggs? It's the exact same style, though it is tweaked a bit, as the basement area, like the very bottom of the cave, is filled with water and tendrils, with a unique boss in there as well. There's a bunch of cool brand new loot that you could find, such as the Staff of Motivation, which I thought the name of it was absolutely hilarious. The dungeon itself, while there is a lot of corridors because it is a mine shaft, it did feel non-linear, as in, even though it was, again, linear hallways that you would have to traverse through, you could choose to go through any path however you wish, similar to BRD, which I find that to be great. I love non-linear dungeons, even though, again, hallways, rooms. The fact that you could choose which one you want to go to at any time, that's what I like. I don't like going through one straight path. Now, while I didn't play them on this beta, on the last beta, I did play through the brand new Wailing Caverns and Dead Mines dungeons. Both of them were very good reworks and fit very well. This new dungeon was pretty good as well, so I am very confident in any new remakes they try to do or any additional dungeons. We did get teased with an endgame dungeon or a raid or something in the Stone Talon Mountains, but that was not available in this playtest, so probably in the next playtest we might be able to see that one. Now, the Mario Kart game. I was really hyped about this, but I do have issues, and I know I'm going to be sticking on this little mini game for a little bit, but I want to talk about it because, it's Mario Kart stuff in a World of Warcraft game. The game itself is very fun, but it needs work. I didn't feel like the thrown items, such as like the green rocket or green shell or whatever, were effective, and that's just due to the motion of the game. I don't think it's anything wrong with what they're trying to code. It's more of just the movement in the game in general. If you are moving along the racetrack, if you try to throw it, it'll go straight from where you're aiming, so if you're in the middle of a turn, it's gonna go off and skew off to the side. So I didn't feel that it worked that well, especially in an actual Mario Kart game. It bounces off the walls to ricochet back at the enemy. In an open desert, it doesn't work that well. I think we need more red shells or red rockets that will aim at the nearest player. That would be a little bit more beneficial than always getting the green rockets or green shells. Also, please add in a blue shell, just for shits and giggles. And one of the other issues I had was that you had to have a minimum of 2 players in order to play the minigame, and you cannot leave the area while you are queued, which is unfortunately going to cause this game to be dead on arrival. You just need... I really think they should make it so if you're soloing it, you're just going in, there's no one else around, be able to race other NPCs. I mean, come on, let's just race the NPCs. And something that Turtle WoW did was they allowed you to queue, and then you can leave the area and it would teleport you back when it's your turn. They should allow that, because now you're keeping people from leveling. You have to keep them in that area. They won't be able to leave to level, and they're just gonna have to wait, especially if there's not enough players to start a match. And when everyone is trying to level, there's, people would rather level than sit around and wait for other people to queue with them. So I do think that the queuing system needs to be reworked and allow us to race NPCs in the case that there is not enough people online to play with you at the time. Overall, for this video, while most of the bugs were small, mainly typos and such, the biggest bug of all was to not be able to start the Burning Hill Zone, and that was literally game halting for me. The quest, literally the first quest to talk to the main, guy in the quest hub of that area, you could not turn it in. I did what you were supposed to do, and you're supposed to go up and talk to him, and then it's supposed to trigger that you could turn it in. Never did that. I tried resetting the quest, I tried resetting the game, nothing worked. I tried at least 2 or 3 days in a row to get a GM to try to fix it for me, and it was just probably bad luck, but I never got a GM on at the time to help me fix it, so I was not able to continue with the Burning Hill Zone. I only could do the side quests that you get from Hammerfall that lead you into that zone. So I did get to play a little bit in there, but I didn't get to fully see the zone in its entirety because of the very first quest just being locked out. So that was a major disappointment. Though the look and feel of the new area plus the new dungeons were very good. The hunter pets, of course, need some serious reworks or something to help them because the talent tree doesn't allow for any armor or stamina gain. I still enjoy the day and night cycle as it allows me to see both the day and night in a single setting of game time, which, roughly could be 3 to 4 hours, and you could see both day and night within that time frame. I didn't try any crafting professions this time around, but I did the last time, and the new items seem to primarily be for higher end items of the various level brackets, which give you dungeon quality items for very rare and expensive materials. My only criticism was that I wished for more lower end items too to help with the variety when it came to the leveling of professions in general, or just to have items help you level faster so you don't have to spend hours grinding the same case over and over, just to get over that hump like the bronze tier and blacksmithing. I would say so far this server still has a lot of potential and a lot of things going right with it, but there are still a lot of bugs to be squashed and various systems to tweak. But I won't hold it against the server just yet, as there are still one more beta to go before launch. And I hope in that time that any issues that I have brought up in the video, any issues that other YouTubers have brought up, or just players in general, will be fixed and resolved before the initial launch of the game. Now I hope you enjoyed this analysis of Project EPOCH Beta 2, and I can't wait for the next beta to see all of the endgame stuff. It should be from level 45 to 60 roughly. If you want to see more Project EPOCH videos, from news to gameplay, make sure to like and subscribe, and also hit that playlist that you'll see in the corner of the screen here if you want to see more Project EPOCH videos. I also follow other private servers such as Azeroth at War and Turtle WoW, Duskhaven, and others similar. Anyway, that's the end of this video, and I'll see you next time.